Okay guys, I am back. Now, here is our video based upon the challenge we were having the last time. I took the liberty of actually putting the code in, running it a few times, making sure everything is okay. When you're moving from a for loop to a next loop to a do while loop, there are really a few things you need to do. One, initialize a variable. What do you want to call it? X, count, tree. But make sure your variables have reasonable names, right? So initialize it to 1 or to 0 or to 10, whatever number you deem appropriate, based upon whatever you're doing. Then you tell the computer what kind of loop you're creating, which is a do while loop. And it says do while x is less than or equal to 3. Remember, we established that a do while loop is a truthful loop. It repeats as long as the condition is true. So, is x less than 3? Yes, it is. So the computer will then execute this sequence of code right here. When it's finished, it's going to assume that x is going to have a new value here. This x is simply awaiting the result of what's happening over here. So this x doesn't have a value yet. So the last value of x was 1. So here x equals 1. So it's 1 plus 1 more. And you put that, no, 1 plus 1 becomes 2. You put that inside this x variable here, and the program loops. Do while 2 is less than or equal to 3. 2 is less than or equal to 3, so the computer would actually execute the code again. And then would say 2 plus 1 becomes 3. So do while 3 is less than or equal to 3. Yes, 3 is equal to 3. So the computer would then execute the code again, come down here and add 3 plus 1, which becomes 4. Computer goes up. Do while 4 is less than 3? No. It cannot go any further because 4 is not less than 3. Let's run this now and see what happens. So we start. And let's enter some values again. 5, 5, 20, and 3, 6, 7. The program stops, because now it has looped 3 times. It's important that you actually remember to initialize and to increment. If you don't have this increment condition here, 1 is always going to be inside x. So the program is going to say 1 is less than 3, and forever it will remain that way, and the program is going to loop forever and never stop. Let's see what happens here. Let's try it a few times and see what happens. Like that. Just randomly plugging in numbers. So I'm talking about the program loops, doesn't stop. So it's important that you remember to increment and to initialize, or else you will not get out of your loop. It creates what is called an indefinite loop. You might get away if, let me put this back here, x equals x plus 1. You might get away if you don't initialize, because many compilers will assume x to be 0. But then no, it will not loop 3 times. Let us see what happens here with this compiler, or interpreter I should say. Look like we're, oh, it stopped eventually. Went to 4, right? No, cancel. Cancel it. So it went to 4, so it was assuming x had a value of 0, right? But it is always good to initialize your variables. Initializing here, assigning a value to a variable before a loop or at the beginning of a program. So this here is an example of a do while loop. Now to do a repeat until loop, similar process, but this time you would say What is it? Do until. I think that's it. Do until. But in this case now, you see, that's how we change. Do until. Remember, this is an algorithm or close to an algorithm, or it's a QBasic language, quick basic language. But if you're writing this in Pascal, you'd have repeat until, not do until, at the end of the loop. That is how Pascal works. That is why a repeat until loop is called a post-test loop. A post-test loop. You would have do until. Remember we said that this program, this interpreter, does not execute algorithms. As a matter of fact, algorithms cannot be executed. They simply represent the logical flow of a program to solve a problem, which persons will opt to develop algorithms into actual program code. So we would have repeat until normally, and it would be at the end of the loop, not at the beginning. We'd have repeat up here, and then you say until x, whatever the conditional test is. But if you notice now, it says x is equal to 1, I will say do until x is less than or equal to 3. Watch what happens if you try to run it this way. Remember, this is not false. This is true. X is indeed less than 3. A repeat until or do until loop repeats while the condition is false. So let's see what happens. We start. If we carry the execution screen in here, you realize what happens. There's nothing. Just press any key to continue. There's nothing to run. But if we now change this to a greater than sign, for example, that's not greater than sign, but question sign. To a greater than sign, x equal 1, do until x is greater than or equal to 3. Right? Now we have something to work with. Let's start. And see, let's see how many times this program loops. Let's see how many times it loops. 2 at that. How many times did it loop? Just twice, because it says until x is equal to 3. So for it to loop 3 times, we'd have to get rid of that equal sign. Alright, and let's start. So let's go again. 3 now we get it to loop 3 times. Alright, so now you get a feel of how repeat until loops function. Remember, repeat until loops repeat while the condition is false. Do until loops work while the condition is true. And the for next loop simply repeats a specific number of times. It counts by itself, it increments by itself. However, a repeat until loop and a repeat until loop, and a do while loop, they have to be initialized and they have to be incremented. You can increment by 2s or 3s or whatever numbers you choose, but normally incrementing goes by 1. Alright, so that's it guys. I hope you learned something. I hope you're a little bit better in working through your necessary skills for writing algorithms, because that will greatly impact upon how well you can problem solve or write the code for your Pascal language when you get there. Alright, have a wonderful day guys, and I hope you're all successful in your examination. Happy New Year.